Hey everybody, Mike Harrelson here with Article 2 Industries. Again, I want to introduce you to another special member of the Article 2 team. You're going to see a lot of them. This is Calvin Albright. Welcome, Calvin.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you. So, Calvin, long-time law enforcement. In fact, it's in the blood thick. His dad was a law enforcement officer probably before we were born.
70s.
Definitely before you were born.
70s.
Before I was born. So, all Calvin's life, he's been around law enforcement. Calvin came into a local PD department. Spent about 8 years there, sergeant, FTO, spent a long stint on an interagency narcotics task force, moved over as a federal law enforcement officer, firearms instructor, taser instructor, obviously a lot of work in dope of all types. So, Calvin, a couple things we want to talk about today. First and foremost, I want to ask you, as a firearms instructor, when it comes to guns, regarding civilians, in a concealed carry, personal defense type of gun, what should someone look for when they're going to buy that gun?
Somebody wants something that fits good in their hand, something that they're comfortable with, something that's easy to manipulate. Depending on whether they're a new gun operator or had been around guns their whole life, would probably depend on the kind of gun they want. For somebody new, something simple like a Glock, something that's easy to manipulate, and something that they can manipulate under pressure or stress.
Super reliable.
Yes.
Super easy to use.
Super reliable, super easy to use.
Excellent. Okay, very good. So for civilians, should we have a light on our everyday carry gun?
It depends. I don't carry a light on my gun. I always have a light available. The light on a gun could make it more difficult to conceal. I think if you have one of the lights you put in your pocket, like a Surefire or something like that, that's great. To each his own, really. If you can conceal a gun with a light on it, I think it's great.
Very good. Clearly want to identify what we need to shoot before we shoot it, yeah?
Yes.
A lot of comments that we get, people, say, listen, I'm a regular citizen, I don't have a duty belt, I don't have all these pouches and pockets, right? So, some of the pocket flashlight options, not a bad option?
No, pocket flashlights are great. I think it's a lot easier to conceal. Like I was saying, if you have it on your weapon, it makes it rather large, and it makes it more difficult to conceal.
Clearly one of the issues in the concealed carry world, you don't have a lot of options for a holster that can accommodate a weapons mounted light, right?
Exactly.
So, holster industry, bring it, we want it. Okay, so how about lasers? Is a laser useful on a gun?
You know, I've never shot a gun with a laser on it. I think the most important thing is to get the fundamentals down first, shooting open sights. I think everybody should learn. I mean, you learned, I learned, we all learned to shoot open sights. The laser's a mechanical thing. It can fail, and people could get too dependent on it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. People spend too much time looking at a dot, not enough time at their sights?
Yes.
Sorry?
Yes.
Chasing dot? Okay. Seems to be a common issue. Very good. So, when you're training a civilian as opposed to a law enforcement officer, as a firearms instructor, those guys got to listen to you because they need to learn from you, and then you're gonna pass or fail them, and their work depends on you, right? And in the civilian world, where maybe somebody's actually even paying you or not, a little bit different. How do you make that transition from instructing an LEO into instructing a civilian?
Well, if you have a civilian, he's obviously come to me for help, or she, and they're willing to learn. Basically, you got to tell them there's no ego. We're going to come here. We're going to start from ground zero. We're going to start from the beginning, and we might start at the 2-yard line. And as long as they're good with that, and most people are. Most people, if they want help, they're willing to learn, and they're there. No ego.
Easier to teach than cops?
Yes.
That's shocking. Okay, very good. So let's move into some of the current events, some of the things in recent history. We saw the Bundy Ranch incident, for instance. Mm-hmm. Feds took a lot of heat for that. Ferguson, Missouri, cops are taking a lot of heat saying they're heavy-handed. What is all this business about the militarization of law enforcement? And is that a legitimate concern, or is that BS?
I think it's BS. As a law enforcement officer, I have a family to go home to every night. And as the citizens and criminals become better armed, law enforcement needs to become better armed. We need to be better armed than the people we're dealing with. I mean, the most important thing for me or my partners is we go home to our families. And if that means that we look a little more militaristic, then that's the way it's going to have to be.
number one priority.
Yes.
Absolutely. So in that regard, with the equipment that's being issued these days, are you finding that you're getting issued better equipment because you're coming up against a more sophisticated type of criminal who is better equipped?
I think it really just depends on what agency you work for. There's lots of agencies out there that have really, really bad equipment, really old equipment, really bad firearms, and really bad gear, really bad vehicles.
Outdated.
But there's some agencies that are really good outfitted. I guess it just depends on which tax base you're working in.
Is that a budget issue, or is that an issue where admin and brass are not looking out for their guys? Why?
I would like to believe that admin and brass are looking out for their guys. Whether they are or not, I don't know. I'm not an admin guy, obviously, but I believe it's probably a budget issue.
Darn right, we want to think that they're taking care of the guys. Absolutely. And I think most of them are, sure.
Yeah.
So, gun control. With that type of criminal, now that you're seeing more assault type of weapons, if you will, and by assault weapon, I mean like a fully automatic AK-47 or something, has gun control measures reduced the number of criminals that have that type of hardware?
I don't think so. Really, law-abiding citizens are going to abide by the law. Obviously, they're going to go through the 10-day waiting period, or not have the illegal weapons they're not supposed to have. But that doesn't stop a criminal. A criminal wasn't going to go to a sporting goods store and buy an AK-47 or an AR-15. He's going to pick it up on the street that was stolen out of probably a law-abiding citizen's residence. I don't think it does not keep the weapons out of the hands of criminals. No.
No matter how many new laws they enact, criminals still aren't going to follow the laws?
Exactly. That's why they're criminals.
What a novel idea. Thanks for being with us. Stay tuned. We're going to see Calvin run some guns. We're going to see some instruction from Calvin, the basics of handling a gun, all the way up into more advanced stuff. So you're going to see him a lot. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Calvin.
Thank you.